So today on Hurtbox's Arcade Corner, we're going to be taking a look at the third generation of Sanwa's silent parts. But first, we're going to be taking a look at the merchandise. You can go down in the link in the description. We got hoodies, we got shirts, we got cups, we got stickers, we got a whole bunch of stuff. If you want to help support the channel and you want to get yourself a cool piece of merch like the Do an Electric t-shirt, the Electric Squad t-shirt, or the Electric Sunset stuff, then go on down to the Teespring store in the description and pick up one of those shirts or any other piece of merch. Anything helps, and it should show when we're live on Twitch so we can thank you directly. So in the last episode, we tried to make the golden levers silent with those crown leaf switches, and they succeeded to a small degree. They were mostly a failure, but you know, they kind of did their job, aside from the issues. So this thing had been laying around for a while. This is the reason why the Dige is up here, is because I have the Gen 3 silent JLF, as well as the new version of the silent buttons. The difference between these ones and the last ones was the silent generation 1, I believe they are, OBSF buttons, had a little foam pad or something that stopped the click noise that you would get when you hit one of these buttons. And there's the last two buttons are original Sanwa's, and then these ones are the Gen 3 or whatever the new generation is called. So basically, people didn't like the first generation of silent parts mainly because it felt like your button inputs weren't happening. It didn't really give you that feedback of when you use a normal button. And I've had experience with those in the past. That Sapphire that's up there, that's kind of a little bit out of shot, that one used to have silent buttons. We used to live in a house where anything made a noise, and you could hear it throughout the house. So I tried getting those buttons to try and alleviate some of those noise issues, and it really didn't help much. It helped better than the original buttons, but they felt really weird to play on. It felt bad. So with these ones, that's supposed to be different. They redesigned the whole button, I guess, to be different. It's not as quiet from what I played on a little bit before doing this video. And yeah, so we'll talk about those in a second. We're going to move on to the lever. The lever is the newest generation. I believe it's a 3rd gen silent stick. And I've never had any kind of experience with the silent JLF series. So this one was kind of a first, and I gotta say, yeah, it's pretty interesting the way that these things are silent. I don't know how they're made silent, but we're going to show the gameplay. The reason why it's in the Dija is because this thing has been in the Dija for months. I just never got around to reviewing these things last year. I've had them since like after Evo, I believe. And the Dija is one of the easiest sticks to mod when it comes to just doing a JLF and button swap. So yeah, this one got put in, and I wanted an excuse to put a Dija in. So we're going to show you really quick just how this thing compares, just how this thing operates, how it feels. We're going to give you a noise demonstration in the gameplay when we cut to it. And then we're just going to, I might do a separate video where we detail the differences between the actual silent buttons and the original Sanwa silent buttons and these ones. But for now, go ahead and enjoy the gameplay. So installation of these things are fairly straightforward if you are using any arcade stick since the PS3 and Xbox 360 days. It should be fairly easy to mod your stick. If you want to see a video on that, click right up here. This card should show up, and it's a modding guide I did around this time last year, and that will get you going. But in short, in layman's terms, for the short TLDR version, you take the quick disconnects off the old buttons, you pop those off, they should come off pretty easy. And then, depending on if you have snap-in buttons or screw-in buttons, you're going to push one tab that's on the side of the snap-in, push that up, push the other tab, pull the button out. And then you're going to replace these. These are snap-ins, so they're just going to snap right into place. If you have a screw-in type, then you're just going to do the same thing, unplug the two quick disconnects from the bottom, and then you're going to undo the nut. You're going to unscrew the nut until that comes off, pull the button out, pop the new ones in. If you have a JLF and you're doing just a JLF swap, pretty simple. Unhook the 5-pin JLF harness, which is the white plastic thing with the wires coming out of it. Just pull that out. Don't pull by the wires, just pull the white thing out. And then unscrew the 4 screws, take a flat top to the bottom of the shaft, and then twist until the ball top releases, unscrew that, take the 4 screws, unscrew those, and then just do that process in reverse. And there you go. So you're just going to do that process in reverse and you'll install the new stick. Again, the video will show you how to do all that if you are unfamiliar. So how does this thing play and how does it feel at the end of the day? Weird. It works. It's fairly quiet, I got to admit. Like, the stick is very silent and it's weird. Like, as somebody who comes from playing on loud stuff, playing on a stick that always clicks with the micro switches, with buttons that aren't as loud as they used to be, but I used to play Hayabusas, Seimitsu, Sanwas, and I think the Hayabusas were probably the clickiest and loudest of all of the buttons. It feels weird to play on silent parts, but they do their job. They're relatively quiet. It felt fine to me. I didn't feel that same kind of disdain for the silent buttons like I did with the one in the Sapphire up there. So those buttons I would actually consider fairly good. And these are the more solid type plungers, so solid type rims, so the plastic tabs are really not going to break as often as the clear ones. But that's a separate issue altogether that I have with Sanwas. The JLF was surprisingly fun and actually surprisingly good. While it's just a standard JLF, it's quiet, it doesn't make any noise, which is amazing to me. And it's just, your inputs come out fine, I can still find my corners. It's just weird not having the auditory feel, or the auditory aspect of arcade stick parts when it comes to this thing. So, all in all, I would say that this is worth buying. If you want quiet parts, if you live in a house where you don't have the ability to be as loud as you want, if you have other people in the house, your house makes a lot of noise, or noises travel far in your house, these would actually be perfect if you game late at night, or if you just need to have your stick silent, because the loudness that comes out of these things are probably quieter than a mechanical keyboard, I would say. They're probably about the same, maybe a little quieter. So, with that being said, they're worth the buy. They're a little bit pricey, especially the lever, but for what you get, it's worth it. Speaking of worth it, if you want, like the video if you did, dislike it if you did, subscribe, hit the bell notification, get all those things when I go, whenever a new video like this comes out. Follow me on Twitter. We still got that golden lever giveaway going on. That's down in the description. We still got like 5 more days left on that thing. If you want to win a golden lever with your name etched on it, follow all those things down in the description. You'll be able to win one possibly. And follow me on Twitch. Go to the Patreon if you want. Go to the merch store. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm Dan. This is HurtboxTV. And thanks for watching. Peace.